fun.
Yeah.
And it's a very wonderful opportunity to see you virtually, though. Excellent. Yeah. Dr. Malancho, I think you are mute. If you can.
Oh,
You are
sorry,
mute.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I was telling that we can wait for 2-3 minutes for our participants. Then we can start from 2:05.
Good afternoon from Bangladesh.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Very good afternoon.
Very good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think we
So-
can just wait 2 minutes and then continue with our agenda,
Yeah,
because
it's
many people
absolutely
have
fine.
already joined. So it's really good to see. And I think Sebale De Silva from Sri Lanka also has joined the
Yes,
group.
yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes, I'm from Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Nice getting you over here. From Bangladesh also, we have our friends there. Dr. Mondul from Japan has also joined, I think.
Yes, yes.
Great.
Yes, I have joined, but okay, at present I am in Japan, but essentially I am from India. So
We take this leverage to make it international, Dr. Mondul. Great
thank you.
meeting you virtually.
Okay, I think we can start talking some introductory sentence, then we can move on to the core part of our webinar. So a very warm welcome to all of our honorable delegates. And the webinar is international because our Bangladesh partner are here and Sri Lankan partner are also here. So very warm welcome to this World Wetland Day 2024. And to set the context of this day, we can't say that conservation of wetlands is a one-day activity. It's a continuous effort and activities. Several conservationists and academicians and scientists, they are working continuously. But since we know that this day has been chosen to celebrate the importance of this ecosystem. So with this, I'm not elongating my talk. So please, I like to introduce you all know Dr. Dipayande. He is the founder, trustee, and chair of South Asian Forum for Environment and director of Program Foundation for Research and Innovation. So Dr. De, over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Malancho. I was it's a very thrilling feeling for me, because wetlands are very close to my heart. And I remember maybe some around 20 years back when we were working in East Kolkata wetland. It was just on the verge of getting delisted from the Ramsar list. And we started working there. We proposed the biorights project there, and I had the privilege of bringing my friend, late Dr. Liu Yang, who was the then advisor in Ramsar Secretariat as for the Asia Oceania. So we had worked in a number of wetlands, and he came over, and then we could save the East Kolkata wetland from getting listed. So the passion that comes over is because of the very interesting and the complex nature of this ecosystem, and the challenges that are still present, especially in this climate milieu. So just to set the stage for today's discussion, I just want to request everyone that let us discuss it very informally. And though it's a World Wetland Day, which is being prompted and promoted by Ramsar, but we thought of discussing about the non-Ramsar wetlands. So when we say non-Ramsar wetlands, I would just bring in this context which is relevant to India, and then I will look forward to listen from our friends from the other countries as well. Today, India got 5 more Ramsar sites added to its list, and 3 cities which are wetland cities, accredited wetland cities. So this is being celebrated all over by the Ministry of Environment and Forest. But the point is, when we talk about the wetlands, the total wetland area in India is almost 15.6 million hectares. And it consists, just 0.04% of it is under Ramsar. Just alone West Bengal, if we talk about, we have 150,000 wetlands, which are almost around 2.5 hectares plus minus. So conservation of wetlands is just not talking about the Ramsar site, but the wetlands which are spread across the countries. Say, for example, Sundarbans. This part of India is also now a Ramsar site. The part in Bangladesh is also a Ramsar site. But the same wetland we are talking about. The Koshitapu wetland, which is in between Nepal and India, the part which is on the side of Nepal is a Ramsar site, but the same wetland this side in India remains unconserved, and it's just a wetland. So what actually we are trying to figure out is this very important ecosystem, which precisely has got 4.5 times more potential in carbon sequestration, is still now neglected. And this is, I personally feel that, giving a connotation of a Ramsar site is some sort of an intersectionality, I feel. All wetlands are very important, be it a Ramsar site or not. The background that you are seeing behind me is a very important wetland in West Bengal called Bortir Bil. We had recently visited there. So interesting in its all phenomenon and dynamics. So this is very important now to count on these ecosystems as a carbon sink, and at the same time, if not conserved properly, can become a carbon bomb. Like it can be the biggest emitter. So it's very important from that angle. Secondly, the ecosystem services that we get from the wetlands. Usually the forest directly yields money. So we get more, convinced about the services and the goods from the forest. But what the ecology of the wetlands that is helping us, the air, water, soil, everything, the biodiversity, everything. So that remains unvalued. It's still now not economically valued properly, and a huge research gap is there. So that, if we can bridge, I think we can bring it to the socio-political corner, where it gains some importance in policy making. That yes, this is directly adding up to the GDP of every nation. So this is an uphill task, I know, but definitely World Wetland Day is one important segment in the whole year, around which we can propel our understandings, our movements, our research, our activities. So with this, I would like to just set the stage, like where we stand in the scientific research, where is the gap, where do we have the economic perception lying behind in valuing the ecosystem services of the wetlands, and more than that, the political ecology, how to bring these wetlands. Often it is considered as westlands, and the land mafia tries to grab it in very many ways. The anthropogenic encroachment is so heavy on wetlands. So how we can bring it to that socio-political interface, so that we can pledge for a better health for all and the wetlands. So with that, I would request Dr. Maluncho, if you can let us know, like the panelists, if you are there, and in that case, I think Dr. Mondol, we have you from Japan. I know you are very busy. If you can just briefly tell your opinion, and then we can go to our say panelists from Bangladesh and Sri Lanka as well. So, Dr.
And from Nepal, we also have
Great,
Deepak.
great.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So one by one, we will listen to all, and I would request from PFRI if you can just record it informally and then share it among ourselves for references later. So
yes.
yeah, I'd request Dr. Mondol if you can just I will share your views and ideas on this.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you're very much audible. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much, for considering me in this program. For you know, this particular program, I should say that I really do not know whether I will be able to say anything which is compatible with the theme of this webinar or not. But I can tell you, that I have engineering background, certainly, and that too in the mechanical engineering. And I really did not have any, kind of connection to this environmental science and also with the plant science or biology. Now, for the last 3 years, that I have been trying to do something, certainly in a lab scale research, and that too not in a full scale or full scale research. But I can tell you something from my experience, that I am basically from a village in the district of Bardhaman, in the state of West Bengal. So I found, that there are many farmers in my village, and the economy of my village is essentially based on the agricultural practices. And if I can recall my old days memories, then I, can say very often I used to, observe many farmers of my village to have depressed mindset of. So after joining IIT Guwahati, I was doing some research. Later on, I thought that maybe it would be, very relevant if I try to do something in the area of interdisciplinary science, mainly focusing on, plant science, plant growth, their, kind of survivability, all these things. Now, as I told you, that basically I am from mechanical engineering background, and also I do not know anything about the biology. It's a very difficult subject to understand, but I was thinking that even mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, or even electrical engineers, they are doing many things, and they are doing essentially in the paradigm of human biology. So I was thinking, let us try to do something in the area of plant biology, essentially keeping in mind the farmers, kind of benefit. And I really do not know whether the research that I am doing or many others are doing in this, in the academia, their research will be directly, helpful to the farmers or not. But certainly some, inferences can be extrapolated to develop some devices or to provide some protocols, etc., etc. So, having decided that, okay, let us do something in the area of plant science or plant biology, I was thinking, okay, say, a very common questions that came to my mind is that, that when I had seen, that I told many farmers is to have, depressed mindset, and they, used to discuss that maybe they could germinate the seed, but in the field, but even then they could not grow them properly. Maybe because of lack of water or lack of several other things. And then I was thinking, is it possible to do something? Now, as I said you that, I should be honest in saying that, it is very difficult for me to say, in a deeper context of this particular,
Yeah, I think we definitely understand, Dr. Mondal, and at least one thing I can very well say that your research or your, I mean, say intentions in the scientific interpretations of these things will definitely help, because agriculture is one factor that is very closely associated with the wetlands. And like in West Bengal itself or the eastern part of India, the marginal farmers are basically say very much in say like how we can bring these wetlands to the mainstream discussion, both scientific as well as in the political ecology of the landscape. Professor Mukherjee. Sorry, I think Professor Mukherjee, maybe we will.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah. That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me, Dr. Dipande and Dr. Malan today, and one good afternoon to all the eminent panelists in today's discussion. I've been associated with the research on the Sundarbans since the past 2 decades, and my research is primarily focused on microbiological aspects of the of the Sundarbans, which has been till now neglected. So during the course of my investigations, we had identified many novel type of microorganisms which have tremendous potential in the biotechnology field, like the production of different enzymes, antibiotics. And very recently, we are surveying for novel cyanobacteria of the Sundarbans, and within a short span of 3-4 years, we could identify several novel genera from this region. And one of them is being now investigated by the Central Drug Research Institute in Lucknow to find the potential anti-cancer drug. So, from my experiences, I can say that definitely the biological component, because I'm a biotechnologist, so I'm exploring the biological components. So the biological components definitely have a strong economic value. Then another area which we are working is on the biofilms, biofilm mediated bioremediation. And for this work, we are getting active support from your organization, Dr. Day. As you know, Progan is helping us very much in taking this lab research to the field. Then again, we have our MTech students also who are being supported by your organization in doing their MTech dissertation work, like Concord is doing now, and Seoshi also did her work. So through all these works, there is what I can say is that there is economic component as well as a strong social component. For example, the work which Dipankar is doing about the nature-based stability of the Sundarbans. So the economic and the social connotations are very strong, definitely, and the Indian researchers from the Indian part of the Sundarbans definitely have contributed. The Bangladesh scientists from the Bangladesh part also have contributed. I've seen a lot of very nice, important publications. But again, the gap which is remaining is to take these researchers to the policymakers and to make them convinced that further investments or further policy making processes should be undertaken in this wetlands. Declaring as a Ramsar site or as a wetland of importance definitely gives a tag to the wetland. But are we really exploiting the economic aspects or the social benefits? So, for this, I think what your organization is doing from SAFE as well as program is very much commendable. That you are trying to bring this all this the developments. You are working with so many international organizations to bring this to the focus of the policymakers to the politicians. But as far as a teacher in the School of Environmental Studies for the past 20 years, what I have realized is that not only in my university, but also in the political setup, in the administrative setup, the environment always takes a backseat. That is very unfortunate. And every year we celebrate World Environment Day and say Wetlands Day, we are celebrating. But I have seen so many programs, but I don't see people like you who are very much working in the field. They are invited and and they are highlighted for their work. It is mainly the politicians or some official office bearer. I don't want to name, but mostly the administrative people who are not at all connected with the environment. They will make some statements about the environment, but the real work of the people who are doing on the field, that is getting a backseat. And for that, what I think from our own capacity, we should make strong statements. Can I? Okay, so we should always make strong statements in whatever forum we are there, either in written form or in oral form, and make strong criticisms of the government, make strong criticisms of the policies which are going against the environment. So that is the way I try from my side to do as much as possible, because I'm in government service. Sometimes I cannot criticize the government too much, but definitely I raise the issues in the government forum. And that is what I can say.
Yeah.
Those who we are doing in the field, we have to be more vocal.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Mukherjee. I think two very important points are there. One is that the leverage of the economic leverage of the scientific research that is being done on the wetland ecosystems needs to be brought in forefront. Lot of funding are coming up for the MSMEs, and also these leverages must also support the research part so that we can get, like as Professor Mukherjee was talking about, the novel specimens that we are getting from Sundarbans. So this is a very important economic move that is needed in this hour. And the second important, which I really adore, I mean, I really appreciate, that it has to be, environment has to be brought to the political agenda. So with this, I would like to listen from our other friends from the subcontinent, because what we are planning is the total resolutions or the discussions that we do over here, we'll make it very crisp and share it with the Ramsar Secretariat, as well as the Ministry of Environment and Forest of all the countries, as well as the press in all the countries, so that our discussion can get a front line and catches up at least few of the eyes where the policies are being planned. So I'll like to come to Dr. Mohammad Alam, sir, and request you to just briefly highlight, like in Bangladesh, what exactly is the scenario? How much of scientific concern is there? I know it is there. And how much of socio-political context or preferences the wetlands are getting? Because most of the Bangladesh is a wonderful wetland, I believe. And that's one reason I love visiting Bangladesh so often. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your compliment, and good afternoon to all of you, and welcome from Bangladesh. So already you already visited my country, as well as also Dr. Maloncho De visited my country. Already you have experience about wetland ecosystem in Bangladesh, what is happening in Bangladesh. So as we know that wetland totally deteriorated throughout the world, not only Bangladesh, throughout the world. So in fact, we are getting benefits from the wetland. So if you consider a benefits, for example, biodiversity, so water, so different kind of species, different tree species, animal species, all are dependent on wetland. So we are getting benefit from the wetland, but we people are responsible for the degradation of wetland. We are concerned, but the reality is not like that. What we are doing, what is our activities in Bangladesh for the protection of wetland ecosystem? But many people, many scientists, many policymakers, they are working on the protection or conservation of wetland in Bangladesh. But we need to make a umbrella or bridge in connection between policymakers, scientists, as well as also non-government organization. It is highly important for the protection of wetland. So that's why, as we know that Ramsar already uh, Ramsar already identified two wetlands from Bangladesh, Sylhet, so that is also highly valuable. Nowadays, this type of wetland is deteriorating due to human activities and climate change. So that's why it is our main concern. So government is highly concerned, and non-government organization and scientists, universities and research institute, they are highly concerned for the conduction of research. But in this situation, we need to make an integrated process. We have to apply for the protection of wetland ecosystem. As we know that if you want to increase urban area, so industrial area, habitat area, that should be considered of environmental degradation, especially wetland. So we are not considering, but reality is different. But we are consider, but we are not considering impractical. So that is happening. So sometimes people who are living around the wetland area, they are not understand what is happening, what is their impact. Sometimes they feel they don't have water for the irrigation in their cropland. Sometimes they feel there is no water in the wetland. They face lack of fishes, different kind of ecosystem services such as freshwater, fish, uh, aquatic species. So that's why it is unwanted situation visible throughout the country. So I think we are concerned, but we have to make a plan through integration how we can protect our wetland ecosystem, and that should be as it is a natural condition. If we want to go or visit in the wetland, we have to see that is natural, and that will be useful for the recreation as well as community of the people, and people will get all kinds of ecosystem service. This is also one of the most important factor. So policymakers, as we know that already new government is formed in Bangladesh, and our environment minister is highly concerned regarding the environmental degradation and management in Bangladesh. So it is possible to get a good benefit in future for the protection of wetland biodiversity from the policymaker in Bangladesh. I think so that it will be possible. So as we know that for sequestration of carbon, it is highly important the role of wetland. They are working, wetland are highly potential for the sequestration of carbon and reduction of global warming and different kind of microbes. Already someone already briefed in his lecture, different kind of unwanted microbes are visible in wetland areas. If we want to conduct a research for the collection of new species of microbes, we can collect, we can identify and preserve, and then we can use for the preparation of different kind of biofertilizer or organic fertilizer for the improving of food crops in Bangladesh. So all a lot of benefits a lot of benefits.
Yeah, I think
Big
that is
different one.
very important and very clear. What Dr. Alam had rightly said, that a lot of benefits are there. There is a policy practice gap as usual in all of the countries in the global south, and we need integration. On this, I think I would request another angle or a view from Sadat Bhai. But before that, I would like to come to our eminent panelists from Sri Lanka, uh, because Sri Lanka is another such country. I mean, take Colombo itself, it is basically a city on the wetlands. So, a very important role is there in the socio-economic, socio-ecological development and paraphernalia in Sri Lanka itself. So, Sepali de Silva, if you can share your views, and then I think we also have someone more from Sri Lanka, I think.
I
Yeah. So,
Yes, I think Shepali has got some internet issue, but
okay.
Virazit is with us, so Virazit can.
Okay, Virajit can, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can.
But
Yes,
but
yes.
before that, I'm requesting everyone to please turn on their camera so that we can click one or two beautiful pictures, please.
So I think now Virajit can share.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Virajit, please.
Hope, yeah, yeah, right. Okay, so thank you first. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Right, so I will just give some very brief idea about the situation in Sri Lanka. Right, so the thing is that in the wetland, so like Doctor they say that it's in Sri Lanka we have a wonderful sort of an area which is allocated as wetlands. So here we can see in Sri Lanka mainly we have wetland and also the dry zones. So the dry zones are also there. So in the dry zones we have a separate system called cascades. It's a sort of a tank series. So it is another concern. But since we are focusing on wetland, so there are around couple of Ramsar sites in Sri Lanka wetland, and according to what we see in the case of wetland in Sri Lanka, so same issues are there, same problems are there. So Bangladesh and India, so they have shed some light on the issues. So we have the same issues in concern in the Sri Lankan situation, and one of the main concern is the habitat loss and degradation, as most of the eminent panel members shared. So the urbanization and maybe encroachment, the agriculture activities, and maybe other sort of activities are happening, and so there is a sort of a pollution is happening in the sort of areas, and maybe due to in last couple of years we have seen that the agriculture activities encroachment, there have been massive encroachment in these wetland series, and luckily that we have a sort of an area in Colombo, so that is well preserved, and there may be certain examples as well in from the Colombo that from the other sites as well, but the Colombo site is almost it's conserved right now, and so minimum encroachment is there. But when it comes to the outstation from Colombo, which is located in Western Province, but when it comes to the other areas like the down south, we can see certain issues, most of the issues, and at the same time, the climate issue is there. So we have seen that precipitation patterns have been changed, and rising sea levels, the extreme weather events. We have seen that sort of things in the last couple of years. So there may be certain uh, uh, critical issues which is affecting these wetlands, and at the same time, so what we are suggesting is that there should be some sort of a very important and very strength sort of a area that we need to concern when it comes to solutions. So one particular thing is that sustainable landscape management with relation to socio-ecological sensitive areas like in wetlands, and the other one is maybe the policy gaps. So in almost every country in which we can see today right now, so we have certain policy gaps. So maybe the strengthening institution policies that should be done, and there may be a lot of loopholes. The coordination part is not happening sometimes. There may be certain things in the top layer, but when it comes to the ground layer, we cannot see actually that is happening, and we cannot see the practice is there. So there should be certain mechanism that we are always talking about, and maybe the partnership, possible partnerships, awareness regarding the raising awareness regarding these sites, the importance, capacity building, and at the same time the most important one is the people who are living inside those living near those areas. Specifically, we have to maintain sort of we have to mainstream their livelihood opportunities, because even though whatever policy forums, even though whatever the platform that we discuss, if the people who are living in those areas, if they are not concerned that particular sites, then whatever we do, it will not that message will not convey to that particular that community. Therefore, sustainable livelihood opportunities, maybe sustainable value chain opportunities, should be incorporated in those areas. So that is one of the four things that we need to concern in related to, I think, in most of the countries that we are talking about in the wetlands. So in here also, that's why I told you the wetland. And currently in Sri Lanka, in dry zones also, we have sort of a cascades. So cascades also now, it's a sort of a series of tanks. So they are also these things are now being concerned into certain levels. So that is my experience here to Sri Lankan context, right?
Yeah, I think that's really excellent. This cascades, yes, I definitely know. I visited that also. That's a very traditional and
Yes,
indigenous method of
yes,
water resource management.
yes.
And it
It's a
itself,
man-made.
yes,
Yeah,
man-made.
it's a man-made, but over the years now it's been naturalized. Natural
Right,
system is there.
right,
Yeah.
right. Thank you very much, Virajit. So, Dr. Malancho, we have someone from Nepal. I think we can cover him
Um,
and then come to some. Uh,
no, I think Deepak
okay,
ji has left. I think now we can move on to Tawheed from Oak Ridge and Shadat from Oak Ridge.
yeah, sure,
Uh,
sure. So, Shadad bhai, if you can share your views.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
We have been
This is
working together. I mean, two organizations in Tangaur, Haur, and that's a very interesting and important wetland.
right,
So, your experiences must be different, I believe. So,
right.
please, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. There, actually, welcome everyone. This is Shadat from Bangladesh, Managing Director of OCRIDS, and we are doing wetland research from technical aspects for data collection, like using ultra modern tools here in Bangladesh. Like last year, we are working on some data collection from field site on Tangar Haur. Actually, we have three Ramsar sites. One is Tangor Haur, one is Hakaloki Haur, and another is Sundarban. So all these three aspects we are working on. For Hakaloki Haur, we are working with NAS, National University of Singapore. Last year, one research group came here, and we are collaborated with them for data collection and some local level consultation meetings, FGD, RKI also. And this year we awarded a project from ADB for the flash flood and agriculture damages in the Sunamganj Tangwarhar area. So where we will use our drone technology, you know that drone technology can implement it for the flash flood monitoring, also the disaster happened there during to the flash flood. Before flood and after flood, what is the happening, their livelihood, their restoration process, all these things. So we Orchids team, there lots of people are working here. Mr. Atik Mullik, also environmental expert, is here, is also working, as well as we have a long expert team from Department of Agriculture, ADB, and World Bank also. So that's why actually for the wetland activities here, you know that Bangladesh part there is northern side and the eastern western part there is a huge wetlands are there. Tangar is also a important site of this area, and where the tourism, the livelihood, the life of the people all are happening here. So actually, last 15 years we are working on this wetland for flood management, water resource management, hydrology, morphological changes of these Ramsar areas due to the flash flood. And you know that the other side of this Hakalukihar and Tangarhar, there is a Himalaya belt and Meghalaya belt is there. So huge amount of rainfall in Cherrapunji. This amount of water, you know that in the world, the highest rainfall point is in Cherrapunji. Every year is 5,000 millimeter rainfall happening there. All the water come through this Ramsar area like Tangarhar, Hakolegahar, then move to the Bay of Bengal. So this is a very ecological area. So we are very aware of these people, their livelihood, their community, and their heritage. All these things are comes out according to their problems, solutions, and their challenges for living there. So thank you very much to arranging these types of webinar, and also thank you Malanche Didi for inviting us, Dr. De. So we are planning to work more together in this arena. So I think it will be a great experience with all you to work further
Definitely,
in this sector.
definitely. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much, Shadab bhai. And it's very important to note that lot of livelihood is dependent on this, and the climate risk is looming. So that is
So,
a very crucial junction where we find that all the countries in South Asia probably are
right,
facing the same problem, and marginal commons, the ultra poor people, they are dependent on the ecosystem services. So
right.
Atik bhai is also there from a scientific say perspective. uh, do you think there are any solution, or not solution basically, but any approach that can help us little bit in addressing this crucial challenge which is looming before us? Atik bhai.
Thank you, Dr. Dey, and I'm glad to be here with you all guys all over the world actually, and talking about this wetland and the preservation of this part. I personally know number of people, number of researchers working on these issues and in here in Bangladesh, and yeah, definitely, as you are asking for that, is there any scientific thoughts or any process? I like to highlight 3 points here. That first of all, the knowledge sharing is the most crucial actually. What is going on in our continent, in our country already? Shadat Hussain already shared that which projects are we are doing now. This kind of the results we need to share outcome most to the other regional aspect, and definitely we need to know from other continent. This is one part. Another thing is that there's a traditional practice in all over the world in specific areas that we can focus on. The how in Bangladesh side, those the northeastern part, those they have some traditional practice to localize to conserve this ecosystem and other species. So that need to be upholded and need to be shared all over the world. And there's another one that we can exchange through our knowledge sharing tool and other uh, platform. Those can be merged and definitely will help a lot to preserve or conserve those kind of activities, those kind of sectors. So there's a plenty of opportunities, and obviously this kind of platform and these tourist sessions will be help a lot, because all of those participants are working in same pace, and hopefully that will be help us in future.
Yeah, thank you, Atik bhai. This is important. I think trans-border conservation planning, participatory conservation planning becomes
Exactly.
very important. We have a very knowledgeable and technical expert in this panel. I think Dr. Dipnarayan Ganguly. I think Dr. Malancho is there, so we can hear from him a little bit more on the activities that's being carried out, especially in the coastal areas. Yeah, Dr. Ganguly.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Actually, right now I'm not in office, so from home only I'm attending this panel discussion. So
Thanks a lot for that. I think you were in holidays and maybe
yeah,
we
yeah,
disturbed
correct,
you.
correct. So today it is a great day actually for us scientists. It is an auspicious day because it is a Ramsar. I mean, it is a World Wetland Day, and this day we always remember for building awareness to conserve wetlands and other associated activities. So this year's theme is well-being. Human well-being is the thing, and our wetlands and human well-being. How wetland can more already since thousands of years, their wetlands are giving several services to us. But how it can in future, in challenging future when climate is going to be changed a lot, how the wetland can serve us better means how it is a mutual relationship between human being and nature. So wetland is a very important part of nature. So we are working for last 12 years to 12 15 years we are working on coastal wetland, but since last 2019 onwards, we are of our organization NCSCM has undertaken the charge means mapping, database generation for all major wetlands of India, including all coastal as well as inland states and the islands. So now we are maintaining the website and updating all the data. If you go through the website, it is maintained, it's our government of India's website, and it is maintained by our organization. So we are regularly going to different field works. First work is through under the project Amrit Dharohar. We are preparing one database. We believe that conservation mapping and making a database, whether the location is really exist or not, and that is the primary step, because tomorrow someone can challenge whether this location is there or not, and map also is very important for the conservation of these wetlands. After mapping of these wetlands, we are building other database like water quality, soil type, all this slowly we are developing. But each and every state of India having different types of wetland, and their quality, capacity, area, extent is very different from each other. So it is very challenging work, and each state having more than 1000 wetlands. So initially we have targeted 75 wetland, now it is 80 after the addition of new 5 wetland Ramsar sites. So now it is 80 Ramsar site in India. But other than that, several other wetlands, we are thousands of wetland actually, not only us, there are 7 other knowledge partner under this Amrit Dharohar program, where we are working together, and we distributed work to map and monitor and make a database for all these wetlands. Hope this massive work will help to conserve and protect the wetland for future, and it will help to restore some of the degraded wetland also. This is one aspect of this. All states also within their limited means what I'll say capacity, they are trying to protect. In that, Tamil Nadu state is one of the pioneer state. It has already launched a wetland mission. If you go their website, the wetland mission is a unique mission which is governed by a special vehicle team, special launch vehicle. It can spend certain amount of fund for conserving wetland without any clearance from any ministry. So that type of wetland, that type of special launch vehicle, I think it is very useful, and that can be followed by other states also. And under this Tamil Nadu wetland mission, they have initially targeted 100 wetlands to be identified, notified, and conserved So that will be one of the major I think advances in this wetland conservation study. Similarly, government of Andhra Pradesh, there are a large number of tanks are there, water tanks, dams, all several dams I have visited, which are like Yaswant Sagar. Last month I was in Yaswant Sagar Dam. It was one of the oldest dam in India, and it is now having the tag of Ramsar site. So several natural as well as artificial sites also now getting the that Ramsar this thing. So like that, but any artificial wetland, this is my new knowledge. Any artificial wetland, it takes certain year, 10 to 15 years to get stabilized, and then only it can be considered as natural wetlands. Once the ecosystem function is full, means once the ecosystem is totally functioning is a natural way, then only it can be, there is no need of additional some support from human being, then it can be considered as natural wetland. So certain wetlands in India already has been converted into natural wetland, which was built artificially earlier. This is one concept. Another concept I would like to say, so last month I visited some northeast wetland. So now we are searching for peatland. Among wetland, peatland and coastal wetlands are having severe, means more important, because they are more vulnerable, as well as they are more important in terms of climate change research. So peatlands and coastal wetlands, these are the two very important things. But there is no coastal peatlands. In my research or my study, I can say there is no coastal peatland in India, because coastal area all are tropical, means they are in all tropical condition where temperature is quite high, where we cannot expect the peatland. Whereas when I visited Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Nagaland, Manipur, or Ladakh, these area having a very low average temperature. Annual temperature is below 10 degree, if you say. So those area having several peatlands which are not being notified in our no more any of the maps, or no, none of them are either they are either controlled by I went high security area near China border, near Ladakh, all this area, those area, no, there is no mention. Even Google Earth also there is no mention of those wetland, and they are forming clusters of wetland also very important. That concept need to be, because there may be 5 6 small water bodies, but all are interlinked and hydrologically linked and interdependent. So all these clusters should be studied together. So recently we have taken with NMHS, we have taken one project on that, studying some of the northeast wetland, Himalayan wetlands, and we are searching for peatlands. And the strategy to protect peatlands are completely different, because with 1 degree temperature also peatland can be degraded. We collected some sample. You will not believe the wetland having similar, like a living wood, I can say. Wetland soil is nothing but living wood. I mean, similar amount of carbon it can preserve. So that much importance these peatlands are having. But I am also worried, because there are certain paper from northeast. Recently some papers has been published how to mine these peatlands. So there is a high calorific value of this peatlands soil, so that can be mined. So that type of, although that will generate lot of livelihood, but I don't support and do not agree with the concept to mining the peatland soil. So once we map and identify the peatlands, someone tomorrow should not come and try to mine the peatland soil. So these are the different aspects we are studying from our, other than biodiversity. Yes, biodiversity and other water related issues, like a state like Andhra, small sacred groups, I'll tell, where every year heat this thing is there. Um, uh, heat strokes are happening and heat waves are there. Wetland can, wherever there is a wetland, it is our, we have certain number of data, and day by day this heat stroke and heat wave incidents are going day by day increased. So wherever there is a localized small wetland also, it can reduce 2 to 3 degree temperature in the local area. That is a great that will have a great impact. So that can protect lot of human life. So that type of additional services must be considered, other than flood, drought, other mitigation services. This type of heat wave also, wetland can protect a large quantity. Means it can, that area there is no this humidity will be high, that greenery will be high, and wetland will always protect us from different types of extreme events. That is a common factor. I believe that local people always know that, they are always thankful to that. But from people who wants to develop, they must know the carrying capacity, they must know the what is the limit, till the limit we can extract resources. After that, the once the carrying capacity reach, the ecological function can be damaged. So that idea each and every developer should have, the carrying capacity concept and the ecological functioning. Once these two are maintained, I think all development can be sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is really, I mean, excellent and important. And this is a very wonderful knowledge that we got from you, Dr. Ganguly. Just two important things I would like to share. We are working in some high altitude wetlands like the Bhagarjang wetland in Arunachal. Yes, that's a peatland, partly peatland, and if this high calorific mud or the soil is mined, I mean, it will immensely emit, if it is at all used for calorific value, and it will damage the wetland. So that's a very critical and crucial point to be taken. And I have two small questions, if you allow me rather.
Please.
The way you at least consider and research on the wetlands and support the decision support system of the nation, I was looking at the statistics today, and I found that West Bengal has the maximum number of wetlands, almost 150,000 wetlands, around 2.5 hectares plus minus.
Correct.
And this year, the cities that have been recognized as the accredited wetland cities, Kolkata doesn't fall into that. But the Ramsar Convention norms says that the maximum amount of wetlands, and if there is a Ramsar site near to it, so Kolkata being the only city where right at its heart it has a Ramsar site, but it has not been recognized, and the non-Ramsar wetlands are still, I mean, all the things that you said, the cluster of wetlands is there. There is no peatland though, but the most valuable wetlands are all around, like Bortirbil and this Chupirchor in the Damodars. All these are very important wetlands, but still it is out of focus. Do you think that there is there need to be a political will also? I'm not talking about which government, but there need to be a political will also to bring this, say, wetland issues into the development issues as well, as we find it in Tamil Nadu. Why can't we have it as a mandate in every state? Is it because of the reason that the wetland is not particularly owned by any ministry, or there is a stakeholder overlap? What is your experience and idea about this?
Sir, you are absolutely correct to point out, because all the state may not have the same intensity to protect and conserve wetlands. I personally believe that getting a Ramsar, this thing is not that tough. I have visited some of the wetland where there is no water. There are roads in between the wetlands and there is no water, not a single drop of water. So those wetlands, it's a playground. Mostly people, only 2 months water will be there during monsoon time. In Goa, I am telling, Goa, one Ramsar site is there. There is no playground. Sorry, there is no water most of the, means 80% of the period time. But still that is an wetland. So I don't think most of the smallest of the wetland in the West Bengal also can apply for Ramsar on this thing. But maybe there is a awareness. I'll say lack of awareness among the politician or the policy maker, or means once they are aware, because it is everybody's generation. It is society where their generation, their family, everybody exists. Once the awareness comes that wetlands, if we preserve, tomorrow it will give us service. My family will be benefited. So once that natural, what I'll say, awareness is more important. So that is our work, to publish more in newspaper article, or wherever possible, radio or nobody is there. We can only talk for wetlands, because we know, we can feel that now it is our work to spread, and there is that is the success of this year's well-being, human well-being. If we keep the wetland well, human well-being will be there. Obviously, human society will be benefited. So
exactly so, yeah. Mhm.
So that is our view. So all the states again, Tamil Nadu government hasn't taken some pioneering effect. I believe that other states also will take care of this similar type of. There will be a competition among the states, and
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
and
It should
and,
be like
and there should be. We should not depend only on Ramsar. That is also my personal view.
correct.
We prepare health report card also. Similar type of health report card can be prepared for all type of wetland, and certain level of certification, either regional level, state level, or national level, can be prepared, developed. So certification of the wetland will means annually it can be some basic parameters, whether the ecological flow is natural or it is proper or not. So basic parameters, some certification for each of the wetland, one small recognition, that is a small recognition by either local regional level, can be considered. That can, it is not necessary through government, some non-government agency. We are managing some blue flag beaches, that is the eco leveling beach. Similar type of eco leveling for wetland also can be considered. So
Excellent. I think, Dr. Ganguly, thank you so much. And right at this moment, what I was thinking is if we can make a conservation ring, like forget about Ramsar, forget about the government, the politics, and everything. We, those who are concerned about these wetlands in this ecoregion, like Safe and Pragyan, both we believe in the eco-regional ecosystem. Like it's not the political boundaries that define, but it's the ecological, say, zones.
correct.
So in this ecoregion, if we try to develop some sort of an activity or a ring or a cluster where we talk about the wetlands, we try to conserve and accredit the wetlands, we monitor it, we try to develop health cards, and definitely your organization, Dr. Ganguly, can help us, mentor us rather. And it's not only in India, but Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan, whosoever it is. This entire ecoregion can come up to a consortium, and let us show that seed today, and let us say that yes, we can work together. So thank you very much for all the panelists. Dr. Malancha, I'd just request you if we have other panelists there, or if we can lead it to a very informal type of a open discussion forum, and get some more ideas about this. So over to you, Dr. Malancha.
Yes, yes. Now I think we also have some participation from Nepal. Deepak ji is there, and also Resham, friends of Shadat Bhai is there. So we can have a quick look of
Yeah, surely.
Nepal.
One by one, we can listen to them, especially from
Yeah,
Nepal. I would love to listen, and then we can develop this consortium
yeah.
together so that we can have a very concrete outcome of this entire discussion. Yeah.
Yes. Over to you, Deepak ji. Are you there? Deepak ji? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. No, no,
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm here.
Yes, yes, Deepak
Yes.
ji. Yes, please. Um, Please give some insight about what is happening in Nepal, about the wetlands, and what are the challenges over there. Since we are talking about the highland wetlands previously about India, so what is the condition in Nepal?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. If you go to the Nepal, there are a lot of the rivers, but they all the rivers are now flash types of river in Nepal, and especially in the Tarai region, we see uh, different river are. We got a river, but there is no wetland uh, in our sites, especially. And there are the Chure range, where you see that we are now drinking water from Mahabharat range, that is the Himalaya range, from the Mahabharat range. And in the Chure range, we could not find a groundwater table. So, not such types of organization are working in Nepal uh, in this belt, but they are only working for the green zone to in this what call Chure range. So ICMODs show their interest. ICMOD is the organization who shows the interest to work together uh, in this area. So these types are not, I can't now see the details, but this is my opinion. If we'll just make one consortium and if we'll search something, then I'll try my best to support in this region. Thank you.
Okay,
I
obviously.
think that is excellent, and we look forward to develop that consortium from here. Yes, Dr. Malanchi, we can open up the floor now and have
Yes, yes,
other
yes,
people sharing
yes.
their views. Yes.
Yes, I think Resham from Nepal. Do you have a different kind of view, or in which part you are working?
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah. I'm Resam Jang Singh. Currently, I'm working with Nepal Water for Health. It's a national NGO. We are working especially in fresh water, drinking water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. I have not much information regarding wetland, but as Deepakji already told, he is from Nepal, and we can find many wetland sources in Tarai region, especially in flat terrain of the Nepal. And that wetlands are the major water source of groundwater in the Tarai region. So nowadays, in last dry season and other many more years ago, we are facing some water depletion and water dried up in the especially in the dry season. So protection and conservation of wetlands is very important to recharge the ground and to recharge the groundwater source. So especially we are working in the spring source and stream source, which finds in the hilly regions of the country, hilly and mountain regions of the country. But we are interested, yes, we are interested in to explore new opportunities, new collaboration, working in the wetland also in the country. So looking forward in the future. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Reshamji. So now I think we can move on to our other speakers. Tauhidur from Bangladesh. Tauhid is working on as environmental specialist in Oak Ridge. Tauhid, you have some specific view regarding conservation of wetlands in Bangladesh. Tauhid?
I think we can move on to other speakers as well, and then once he
Yes, yes,
joins,
yes.
we can, yeah.
Okay, okay. So I think we have other speaker, Hasibur Bhai, Hasibur Rahman from Bangladesh.
Yes, thank you, Malanchandi and Dr. Day. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say something about the area where I have been working for the last 10 years. Right now, I'm not working directly with the wetland. I'm working with a blue economy and inclusive development for climate justice on behalf of Kodak. And I'm also engaged with Ocrids Bangladesh, Ocrids Limited, with Shadat Bhai, Tohid Bhai, and Atik Bhai. I'm not a scientist. I'm actually a pure environment conservation worker. So during my tenure with wetland management workings, I found a severe gap. You know, in Bangladesh, we have about 50% wetland of the land mass, total land mass, but we don't have any independent management body. That is why the only person, you know, the deputy commissioner of that particular wetland areas, he is the authority. He is the administrative head and he is the executive who can deal with wetland management, wetland issues, the social aspects, natural aspects, and everything will be done and taking care of by the deputy commissioner. So he's very much busy, so that is why I found that there's a serious gap. Who will actually take care of the wetland, these wetlands, the Ramsar sites? You know, in Bangladesh, as Shadat Bhai mentioned earlier, we have only three Ramsar sites: Hakaluki, Tangarhar, and Sundarban. Sundarban is huge thing. We don't have any. Actually, we this it's a kind of fear saying anything regarding Sundarban on Sundarban. It's a huge thing. There is an forest department, coastal forest, they are taking care of Sundarbans. But who is taking care of this wetland? I mean, Tangwar Haur and Hakaluki Haur. I worked with Tangwar Haur for from 2010 to 2011. There is a project, this Tangwar Haur management, community-based Tangwar Haur management. as a Swiss development SDC and Swiss embassy. They have actually funded that project, and there is a management practice established there. But after that project phasing out, there's no intervention. We could not see any intervention there. And deputy commissioner, he said when we met his deputy commissioner, since there's no management, the independent management body, we went to have some discussion with the deputy commissioner, district magistrate. He said, I don't have that much workforce to deal with the big wetlands. Then I told him, who will take the charge to deal with this wetland? It's a very significant wetland, and it might be a very good revenue earning source of the district administration. He agreed that, okay, yes, but I don't have that level of that much workforce. How would I take care of the land? Government is not giving me that kind of money, that kind of resources. So, so that is why I think whatever we have listened from our respected panelists and others, I think I'm not that much pessimist. I'm optimistic because I have been working with this thing for the last 18 years and directly working with wetland 10 years. So this is the we have research. We have a lot of research papers on Kangarhaur, Hakalukihaur, and Sundarbans. We have a developed plan, very good plans. By without fund, this kind of planning is a kind of mere hallucination to me. So lacking of funding is another issue, but the authority, the management body who actually take care this kind of wetland, there's a gap I found. So if there's nobody, and in Bangladesh we have more than 125 laws regarding the laws, acts, rules regarding environmental issues, but we don't have any significant or any law regarding the wetland management. So we have ecologically critical areas rules that has been activated in 2000 from 2012, if I am not wrong, but we haven't have any wetland act right now. And I'm very much optimistic. I think in Bangladesh, after 53 years, Bangladesh Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change has got a guardian. His name is Mr. Sabir Hossain Chowdhury. So that is why I am right now. I'm very much enthusiastic and very much eagerly waiting to see the change in this sector, environment sector, including the wetland. He is a very nice person and very keen to the environmental issues. So far, I have had
Yeah,
some
Hasibul bhai, I
words
think
with Sabir Hossain Chowdhury. So
exactly.
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic now.
No,
Something
no,
will
this
be
is
happening.
I mean, whatever problems you said, it's almost like listening from the horse's mouth. We all have these problems. I
Yes,
just
yes.
doubly endorse that we have all these problems, and the stakeholder conflict and shared responsibility means no one's responsibility. So that
Right,
is
right, right, right.
inavailability of a framework. It's equally correct for our country also. Maybe it's all there in the South Asia. So yes, Dr. Malanchi, if you have other colleagues to
Yes.
speak on, yeah.
Yes, Tawhid is there.
Good evening,
Yes.
everyone. So I'm facing some difficulties in my microphone. So now I have fixed that. So thanks a lot, Dr. Dipayante and Dr. Malanchade for inviting us. So my name is Tawhidur Rahman. Professionally, I'm a civil engineer working with Oak Ridge Bangladesh, which is a research organization based in Dhaka. So as an engineer, what I can emphasize in this day is that wetland is very important for humanity and planet. Okay, we know that Bangladesh covering about 6% of the total land area as a wetland. We have Sundarban, Tangwar as a Ramsar site. But on the engineering perspective, what we have already incorporated constructed wetland for wastewater treatment during design figure/treatment system in Bangladesh. And this is happening in different municipalities. So designer have adopted a green solution for solving most pressing environmental challenges. So it's actually a proven solution for municipal and industrial wastewater treatment system, offering ecological benefits and higher performance efficiency. So most of us know about the French filter system or the subsurface flow wetlands, aerated wetlands, surface flow wetlands, and sludge treatment wetlands. So all of this system gives us a nature-based solution and contributing us to make a sustainable development for the betterment of the community. So today's World Wetland Day is a reminder for us to preserve them, not filling them with sand to develop properties. So again, I'm joining with everyone to raise voices, save wetland for nature, save wetland for human well-being. So thank you, everyone. See you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, we have one more. Faradur, are you there? Faradur Rahman is the professor from BSMRU, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Agricultural University. Yes, Faradur.
Can you see me or can you hear me
Yes,
clearly?
yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for today's discussion. It's also an eye-opening for me. I'm not very much familiar with the wetland. So based on what I teach and what I'm trained to learn, but by profession, I'm a forester, and I also got my degrees in remote sensing. So I'll tell my experience, what I have learned and what I know. And for my better understanding, I know you know better wetlands than me. I will talk about maybe a little bit about the watershed management or from the kind of uh, small water bodies. Okay, so from my experience, I understand that the water bodies, they're really important for the entire ecosystem running. And we know that we have the wetlands in the northern part of Bangladesh, and many of them have the flash flood issue. And also, to my understanding, like many general people, they don't understand the ecosystem services that we get from the nature, for example, the wetlands or water bodies. So I think we also lack the environmental stewardship towards the nature. Because where I get my degrees from in Japan, I saw that every people, they have the respect to the nature, and even it's a kind of regretful that the tourists, they when they visit the uh, wetlands or even in forest, they don't show respect and they don't appreciate the beauties of nature. So I think that's what we also need. I'll conclude briefly, but I also want to mention one thing, that I'm doing a research on a remote sensing perspective. So I'm doing research in Mymensingh district, which is just below the Meghalaya, and it's a kind of 100 square kilometer area, and we are trying to find the water bodies automatically with the use of remote sensing and other new technologies. And we found a kind of astonishing discovery when we are trying to find the wetlands or water bodies within this area from 1988 to up until now. What we see, that part of the Bangladesh, they don't have many economical activities. So one profession they got to choose is like aquaculture. And what we saw is a very quick conversion of agricultural land to the aquacultural ponds, and then after some areas they abandon. And this is kind of astonishing, and also we need to take a better look why they are changing and why they are converting the land so frequently. One other thing I also discovered is, like, water is pretty dynamic, and with season they change the size and dimension of the water bodies. And I also discovered that the banks of every water body is kind of vulnerable to the conversion. I saw that the many wetlands, their edges are gradually being filled with something, and they gradually being converted to agricultural land or even in the build-ups. So I think you all know better about the integration of laws and everything, but these are my concern, and I wanted to share today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faradur. I think we can now open the floor for question, answer, and brainstorming session. And also, we like to listen something from the field person from our field. They are waiting. Bhaskar, yes, they are there. Okay, so any question? So I think no one is asking anything. So directly we can move on to our field personnel. So Mukto, are you there? Mukto, তুমি আছো?
আছি আছি।
হ্যাঁ, তোমরা একটু বলো যে তোমরা যেখানে কাজ করছো ওয়েটল্যান্ড নিয়ে। I think we can speak in Bengali or I am translating it.
Yeah, I think we can hear in Bengali and then we can get it translated also for all of the members here.
Okay, it's fine. So please turn on your camera. And what experience, what is your, তোমার কি মনে হচ্ছে যে এই ওয়েটল্যান্ড কনজারভেশন নিয়ে কাজ করতে গিয়ে সেখানের কি ভালো মন্দ কি আছে সেগুলো একটুখানি বলো ছোট করে, আর ক্যামেরাটা অন করো।
নমস্কার সবাইকে, অনলাইনে যারা আছেন তাদের প্রত্যেকে বললেন এই জলাশয় ভূমি দিবসের শুভেচ্ছা ও সাদর অভিনন্দন জানাই। তো সুন্দরবনের ক্ষেত্রে জলাভূমি ক্ষেত্রে কাজ করতে গিয়ে দেখা যায় এখানে জলাভূমি মূলত সমস্যায় পড়তে হয়। দেখা যায় লোকাল পলিটিক্স একটা সমস্যার মধ্যে পড়তে হয়, কারণ এই যে তারপর লোকাল যে বায়োডাইভার্সিটি রয়েছে বা লোকাল যে এগ্রিকালচার তার চাষবাসের যে ধরন সেগুলোতে মারাত্মকভাবে এই জলাভূমির ক্ষতি হয়।
Okay, Mukto is telling that there are some political issues are there. So working on wetlands for conservation of wetlands and different facets of livelihood that are integrated with wetland conservation. There are lots of challenges in different dimensions they are facing, the community they are facing over there. So this is the translation of his speech. So I think we can see from the last 2 or 3 days we are celebrating some events like visiting the non-Ramsar wetlands, Bortirbil, and we have collected some information from there. So Dr. Day has raised one question regarding this, that why or when we consider one wetland as Ramsar site. So what are the criteria? So in keeping this view, we have visited these non-Ramsar wetlands and assessed some challenges and what are their problems and how this can be converted, or not only this wetland, any non-Ramsar wetlands can be converted to Ramsar. I think we can see a small video and then our expert can say a few words and how we can move with that. So could you, so Madhusudhan, could you please play the video?
Yes.
Okay.
ঠান্ডা আবহাওয়াটা চললো, ওই যে বৃষ্টি বৃষ্টি কুয়াশা আর রোদ একদম বেরোলো না, ওর মধ্যে থেকে এইটা হয়ে গেল বিবর্ষা হয়। এদিকে আষাঢ় শ্রাবণে বর্ষাই হলো না, শেষে রাত্রি করে ভাদ্র আশ্বিনে, এবার ভাদ্র আশ্বিনে যদি মাঠ করতে যায় তাহলে কার্তিক মাস ভোর জল থাকবে। এইটাই জানুয়ারি থেকে শুরু হতো, লোক এইখানে বিশাল অত্যাচার করতো যারা পিকনিক করতো।
আরে হচ্ছে কি এই পিকনিক পার্টিটা শৃঙ্খল তো একটু বেশি।
আমার এই জমিটা এসে পিকনিক করছে, যত থালা গ্লাস জাম প্লাস্টিকের দিয়ে সব আপনি এখানে এটা কে পরিষ্কার করবেন?
এই নিচ থেকে বলতে আগে না এই 3 ইঞ্চির পাইপ দিয়ে শ্যালো বসানো, মানে পাম্প দিয়ে জল তোলা হতো, এখন আর হয় না, জল ওঠে। ও এখন কতটা যেতে হয়? এখন মোটামুটি মিনি বসালে তবেই জল উঠবে, না চেত না, মোটর চাই।
পদ্মখাল আর কাকিনাড়ার খাল থেকে জলটা ঢোকে।
হ্যাঁ,
কেন বাংলাদেশের জল যে ওইটা দিয়ে ঢোকে?
হ্যাঁ, যেমনি
জল ওখান থেকেই আসে।
ওটা অনেক সময় বলে যে এই আপনার ওই নীলগঞ্জ খাল বা ইচ্ছাপুরে খাল বন্ধ করে দেয়। কেন বন্ধ করে দেয় বলছি?
জল দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে।
হ্যাঁ,
যার জন্য চাষটা মার খাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ,
এবার দীর্ঘদিন এখানে থেকে থেকে শুকনো হচ্ছে যখন, তখন আমাদের চাষের সময় উঠে যাচ্ছে।
গ্রুপই থাকে, হ্যাঁ, এটা স্বনির্ভর গোষ্ঠীর মতন একটা গ্রুপ থাকে। তাহলে পরে কি হবে যে আমরা যেখানে যে 20টা দেবো ভাবছি, সেখানে হয়তো 200টা ভেলা, 200টা ভেলা বিভিন্ন জায়গাতে 20টা করে বিভিন্ন জায়গাতে একটা ছোট ছোট দল করে আমরা সেগুলো সেখানে প্রায় 15-16টা প্রজাতি ম্যানগ্রোভ দেখা যায় আমাদের সেরকমই ভাবে তাহলে কিন্তু জঙ্গলে গেল না, নদীতে গেল না, এইখানে তার
Thank you, Madhusudan. Thank you for sharing. Okay, now we have come to the end of our webinar. So again, I'm asking, so if there is any question we can discuss, or else we can conclude the program for today. So any question from anyone?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, obviously.
I just want to share one of my experience to conserve a water body. You all know aware about that Bhabadihi. There is a big lake, not wetland, in Arambagh. During the railway extension project from the Tarakeswar to Bishnupur, it was mapped that engineer designed that the railway track will go between the Bhabadihi. But it was designed there, but when implementation came, when the engineer went there to implement the work, the local people of that place strongly protested and make a committee to protect the Bhabadihi, and their demand was very simple, that railway track will be developed here, no problem, but it should not be in the midway of the lake. But the railway department take no steps. They said that no, there is no provision to make bridge on the standing water body. Means in railway rules there is a rules that no bridge will be on the standing water body. If it is flowing water body, then they can make a bridge. Whatever the stream is narrow is that. But the local people demand was that if railway track is can constructed, please make a bridge over it, do not spoil or the lake. So the movement was going on very long year. After long I think 10 or 12 years, last 12 years, that movement was going on. Now finally railway department has agreed to make the track on different way, not hampering that lake. Then learns a thing that the emotion of local people around a water body or a lake or a wetland is very crucial to protect them. If we try to conserve a water body, I think that the foremost thing is to a community to local people community to preserve the or conserve the water body and to make a strong emotional attachment with that water body. This is the simple and very useful solution, I think. It is my just addition.
That's an excellent, anecdote, and we must include this case study, Dr. Malancho, in our report also. Long back in 2002, when I was working in Japan with some high altitude wetlands, the same thing came up, that if the local communities' sentiments and emotions are considered as a conservation tool, the best result can be accomplished, and it exists as equal and equivalent today itself. Thank you very much, Mr. Patro.
Yes, it's a very good example, and it is quite evident that from the past also there are several examples that community or the sentiment of local community that is becoming much more important against the adverse decisions of different person like politicians or whatever may be the decision. Okay, now I think we have come to an end, and I think we don't have any question right now, but end is not end. So we can continue this consortium, this knowledge platform for more discussion. And right now, we have in this program, we have several partners from different countries. So I like to thank the participants from Bangladesh, from Oak Ridge, from BSMRU, Faradur Rahman and Professor Alam, and from Oak Ridge, Shadat, Hasib Bhai, Tawhid, and Atik Bhai, and also from Nepal, I like to thank Deepak ji and Resham. Yes, obviously, we will explore our collaborations and relationships for future projects and future opportunities. I want to thank um, the participants from Sri Lanka. Virajit is there, and due to certain other meetings, Sepali is not there. So I like to thank Virajit to be in this webinar. Thank you, Virajit, for your valuable time. And also, I like to thank the other participants from India, Professor Mukherjee and his team, Professor Das and Professor Bhattacharya, and also Deep Narayan Ganguly from National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management from India. So, and the other participants from ProGAN, from field, the research interns, and other colleagues. And last but not the least, I want to convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Dipayande for performing or for having such a wonderful session, or just directing the discussion in such a way so that we get so much valuable knowledge input from this discussion. Thank you, Dr. De. Okay, so now
Okay,
we are.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you all. So now we are concluding this
Yeah, thanks
session.
to all. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you all.
And this
Thank you.
continues. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.